regular Ford dealership, somebody could come buy a family car and all that good stuff. But if somebody wants speed, they find you. Charlie Watson.
Yes, sir.
Mickey Shook. I'm in your office here. We're at the Beechmont Ford, right? This office that we're in, you guys do special vehicle stuff for Ford.
Yep, this is where all the magic happens.
So if a guy comes here, or a gal, shouldn't be sexist, they like hot rods too, comes in and they want to build a Mustang or a badass F-150, do you guys do other stuff like Tauruses? And,
yeah, we've done a lot of SHO stuff. We've done Mustang, F-150. We're starting to play with the Ranger a little bit.
Ranger?
Yeah. The foundation goes back, you imagine we build. That's our concept.
We're going to talk about some of the high horsepower vehicles. You guys have a 725 or 50?
725.
25 horsepower. Ooh.
Yeah. But we will get you the extra 25 to give up the warranty.
For F-150. And you guys, one of your claim to fames here is for under $40,000, a person can purchase a four-door, or is it a cab and a half?
That one is actually a regular cab. It's a light.
Okay. Okay. Yes, I know the one. Yes, yes. So for under 40 grand, you can walk out of here with a 700 plus horsepower pickup truck.
Yeah.
What kind of like 0 to 60 times does that thing do?
Those, we haven't done anything official, but you should be somewhere, I'd say in the 5-second range on an F-150, which is rocking.
Like quarter mile?
Quarter mile would be, on that truck, would be in the mid-12s, but that's with the can tune. If we take that out, throw that out the window, and go with like Lund, Oz Tuning, Palm Beach Dyno, one of those guys. I mean, we can get you sub 4 seconds 0 to 60s and get you in the 10s in the quarter mile.
Is that a two-wheel drive or a four-wheel drive truck?
You'd need four-wheel drive.
Okay, I was going to say, anything would just sit there and be all over the place. That's pretty cool. And then I think you told me they still get halfway decent economy on the roadway.
Yeah, so if you come in, and again, there's two different buyers that we have. Some guys come in and they want to set records and they care about the tenths of a second and the quarter and all that. There's those guys. But for the vast majority of our people come in and they want something fun, they want something reliable and efficient. And if you come in and buy our standard Roush or Whipple supercharger on an F-150, your fuel economy is unchanged. So I've seen guys that claim they do better than factory. I don't claim it because
mine can be changed.
Yeah, if your foot gets heavier, your gas goes down.
Yeah, okay. So as long as you can mitigate your teenage driving skills and stay kind of off the throttle a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah,
cool.
Because if you think about the way the blower's belt fed, I mean, there's no inefficiencies in the system at all. As long as you're not in boost and you're not putting all the extra strain, you can maintain the same efficiency. But then when you need the power, that's when it all.
That's cool.
So this one is called an RTR, which stands for Ready to Rock, and it's Vaughn Gittin Jr.'s brand. He's the drift champion for Ford Motor Company, Ford Performance. And there's different levels, just like with Roush or any other vehicles that you've got in the performance world. This is a spec 1, so you've got the LED grille, which we can show you here in a minute, the 20-inch wheels. They are staggered front to back, has an 1.5-inch drop, and then does have a performance exhaust as well and a rear spoiler.
302 in that, the Coyote motor?
Yep, it's got a 5-liter. Package, so it's got the stance, it's got the sound, and it's prepped and ready to go for any of our power systems. So if a customer wanted to go with a Whipple supercharger or a Roush supercharger, the car's got all the looks, and then we can have the power to support the looks as well.
How many ponies is this one making?
460 horsepower. Wow.
But when I was a kid, the 5 liters, you'd get like $1.90 out of them, you know?
Yeah, it's a different world.
It's got an automatic. Most of these guys are looking for manuals, especially in a drift car.
Yep. Yeah, so if you would have come in here 3 or 4 years ago, any of our custom builds would have all been manuals, would have been our MT82. Ever since Ford and General Motors actually co-developed the 10R80, it's been the transmission of choice by a comfortable margin. It was an 80-20 split in favor of the manual before, and it's reversed.
And this is the same basic transmission as what's in the new F-150s.
Yep.
The 10 speeds.
Yep.
That's fantastic.
And it's actually co-developed. It's in the new high-performance Camaros and some of their other applications.
Wow, wow. Nice for the marketplace when you get that kind of exposure where now any issues, things like that, all get worked out because you've got such a broad amount of people using them.
Yeah.
I'm going to have you open the door. I want people to see that. That's cool.
It's the little things.
That is a little thing. Is that all the Mustangs or just this model?
It is just the premiums.
Okay.
So it actually comes from a little LED that shines down from the mirror. All right, so this is our latest project. We call it the Bfp Retro F150. Bfp, of course, for Beechmont Ford Performance. And the goal behind this project was to kind of trigger some of the, I'll say older, but a little more experienced guys that were having fun back in the late 70s, early 80s. We went with, obviously, the first thing that jumps out and smacks you is the two-tone look.
Yeah.
It is the classic blue with a white satin platinum wrap. It is not paint, just because in case a customer did like the truck without it, we can always remove that. The idea is customization here.
So this is a vinyl wrap?
Yep.
Okay. That's cool. No, it looks beautiful.
The other piece that's different is a lot of the new trucks have what I'd say like a big wheel and a small sidewall tire.
Okay.
We went with the classic look. This is 17-inch Mickey Thompson on technically a 34 change inch
This
tire.
is what I grew up, thinking was cool.
Yeah. And that's what we're going. The idea behind this project is nostalgia. We want to see this and you go back. Obviously, the KC highlights and the Black Horse roll bar and the bed are just kind of iconic to the late 70s, early 80s.
Heck yeah. And this is the 5-liter in here as well?
Yep, and it does have a Roush catback exhaust.
This one does?
Yep.
So it sounds sweet.
Yeah, I can start it for you.
Yeah, let's start it real quick. Heck yeah.
So obviously the EcoBoost we sell the most of, which is better for towing, but when you're building something like this, you've got to have the all-American V8 sound, and that's what we went for. And this 5-liter with this catback exhaust, what kind of horsepower? This you're going to be 360, 370 in the horsepower range, but again, all of our builds are set up for, you just give us the word and we add our Whipple or a Roush SuperCharger.
And then you're talking the 700 ranges.
Yeah, 650 horsepower with a Roush or 725 horsepower with the Whipple.
Okay, very cool.
See here, we designed it to make it just look OEM, it's clean, nothing junky, you just press it here and you've got your highlight.
Oh, cool.
And those caps, of course, can come off if you want the full...
Get the actual light instead of just the fun KC.
Yep.
Super cool. The dashboard configuration I'm well used to. This is the XLT model with the cloth.
Yes, sir. And another big ticket that a lot of people do with us is they do the customized leather. So we do have customized leather options. We can do anything from just your standard black to standard gray, two-tone. We can add suede inserts, anything that they want, we do. So basically what we started with, we did all of our builds out of these 2 bays right here.
Just these 2 bays were your performance.
Yep. Now we use them for general maintenance and final inspection. So it's a 14,000 square foot facility. So it gives us the ability to bring in a custom build. If someone wants the little extras, we can do that right here in-house.
Very cool.
Obviously we blacked out the windows for them, but the King Ranch has a very unique interior. So if you get in there and look, it's almost like a peanut butter color when you get out in the sun.
Oh, that's
dark
cool.
Chocolate.
Cooled seats and all that jazz, of course, cool and heated.
And massage, yes.
Huge sunroof.
Yep, the Vista roof dual panel.
Yeah, this thing's slick, man. Yeah, look at that.
Obviously, he's a professional athlete, and so he wanted something different.
Okay.
We do a ton. The F-150, the F-Series in general is the best-selling vehicle in the world, so you're going to see a bunch of them. So it's hard to give him something that he wanted with also keeping it different. Like, for example, I mean, this was all chrome. We had to take a lot of really intricate detail to make this thing different. And the Power Stroke is the newest, latest, and greatest, and he wanted to give it a shot.
What kind of horsepower and torque does this motor make?
This will make slightly less than our EcoBoost as far as the big 3.5. There's two EcoBoosts, two EcoBoosts are the 2.7 and the 3.5. This is going to be in your mid 300s on the horsepower and upper 300s on the torque.
So it's more of a fuel choice, longevity of diesel.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people, like companies, that are going to use these trucks. Like say you go to a construction site, you're going to let the truck run, let it sit. There's a lot of longevity benefits to having the diesel. So this one, if someone didn't want to go all out with one of our supercharged or fully lifted trucks, this is designed to give you a little bit of style, a little bit of differentiation without spending a ton of money. This is just our wheels, tires, and a leveling kit.
Gives you a nice stance, makes the truck look aggressive.
Yeah, but it's still really feasible for on the financially restricted or the budget conscious buyer because you can lease a truck like this where you can't lease one of the full build ones. Yeah. And two, just from a payment perspective, it's a lot more affordable. I don't dedicate enough time to it, but I love to shoot, and I love to, like, I built an AR. I handed Guy tools while he built it for me.
So tell me about, you said you were watching Smokey and the Bandit one night.
Yep.
Almost insulted me, asked if I ever seen it. Of course, man, I can sing every song in the movie right now.
It's got a good soundtrack.
So you saw the movie and you thought, man, this is pretty darn cool.
Yeah. So basically the story goes, we were actually going to play it for our performance customers at the dealership. And so I go home, watch it the night before, and I'm watching the movie, and I just kind of fell in love with that character, with Burt Reynolds' character, like everybody else did. And just the fact that he just had an awesome car with tons of power. It wasn't the most dialed in, crazy track performance vehicle with all the options, but it was an all-American V8 with tons of power and tons of torque, and he could smoke the tires whenever he wanted. And so I kind of was laying in bed that night, my wife was asleep, and I'm just thinking, I just kind of felt like we lost that a little bit. And now cars that are of high performance like that, it seems like you got to spend $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 to get one. And that's just, it's out of the grasp of a lot of people. And so I'm laying there thinking, and all of a sudden an idea just hit me. It actually hit me about 1 in the morning. And I fell out of bed, ran to my home office and started doing the math, and came up with a base Mustang, 6-speed manual with a Roush supercharger, and to sell the whole package for $39,900. I put it out on Facebook, and typically, like, one of our promotions might get 1,000 impressions overnight. Well, this was shared 7,000 times overnight. And so I woke up the next morning and I was just blown away at the attention that it got. And long story short, it went viral and ended up on Yahoo News, MSN, Road and Track magazine wrote an article on it. We ended up on Velocity TV talking about it. So it took off, and it just showed us that there's a big market for people that want affordable, customizable power. Okay, so it's not necessarily that they've got to go out and run 10s from the showroom, but they may want to go out and add an exhaust later, or do their own wheels and tires later, or just get into that attainable 700 horsepower car, and then you can do the minor details and like I said, the fun stuff as you go. It's almost like starting a project for them. So that's been 4 years, and we've been building ever since.
Somewhere along the line I heard about it, and here I am, road tripping across Ohio, driving with 2 strange men in the front seat. Don't even know where we're going.
He does most of the talking. No, it is. And like you said, I mean, it's just fun to interact with this stuff every day, because a lot of times you're building. The market's kind of split. You're going to have some young, aggressive people that are building their project cars, but then you'll have some guys that have dreamed of this their whole life.
Yeah.
You know, and
they can physically afford to do it.
You're dealing with retirement, cash outs, and it's just tons of anticipation. And Mitch's job, he handles all the logistics on all of our builds. So as soon as a build initiates, he texts and calls the customer. They have his personal information, and he updates them every step of the way.
So Mitch, they sell it, you sort out how to make it happen.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because these guys, they require a little more attention than, say, a Fusion buyer.
Sure.
Because there's an emotional connection. They're buying more than just transportation. They're buying a dream.
Not to mention that there's some more money involved than a Fusion.
Yeah, definitely. It can get up there. We've done builds that exceed 25, 30,000 on top of the car itself, and so it can get pretty crazy. I mean, it all goes back to our concept, which you imagine we build. I mean, whatever you can think of, we do.
What do you drive? Don't tell me Fusion.
No, I drive a Raptor.
A Raptor?
Yeah.
And you?
I drive I have this as my company car, and I have a Shelby GT350.
Nice.
So we are, and that's the thing too that kind of makes us different, is we are true car people. I mean, this is when we're not at work, we don't go home and watch football, we go home and watch cars. I mean, this is our hobby, it's what we love. If that's a good thing and it has to do with cars, that's us.
That's us.
We're true car people.
That's how we met.
Yeah, in the car world.
Sounds like a dating kind of a scenario.
It's been magic ever since. This one is kind of close to the truck that is part of our claim to fame, except it's a four-wheel drive version. And so it's kind of inspired by the old Lightning, the 5.4 supercharged truck that we all fell in love with back then. But this one has a Whipple Stage 2, which right out of the gate with the stock tuning puts you at 775 crank horsepower. From there, we did a billet oil pump gear and crank sprocket upgrade just for longevity and the toughness once you get up to that high level.
Sure.
Then we did long tube headers and a custom Lund tune. So this one, crank horsepower is making over 800. So it's not as you can see, it's not a super heavy truck. It is four-wheel drive, so it'll hook. We estimate that this will run a high 10-second quarter mile.
8? So this is all custom?
Yep, so this is a little more my personal style. So, and this is kind of a cool range of diversity to show. If you've got one gentleman over here that comes in with, like you said, on a mission, he's got a certain performance metric he wants to hit. This guy's a little more about the aesthetic. And so he does want the power. We're doing a Stage 1 Whipple supercharger with warranty. Powertrain warranty coverage.
This is a 5-liter?
Yep, 5-liter V8, so it's going to be a Stage 1 Whipple supercharger, but it's built on a Lariat Sport Special Edition. So that's got the custom graphics, it's got the two-tone leather interior, heated seats, your favorite cooled seats.
Gotta have them.
You gotta have them.
You do.
It's Fox 2.0 suspension.
Oh, cool.
So it's gonna have a little bit more Raptor-esque stance to it.
Okay.
Where we lowered this one, we're raising this one.
Okay.
So again, this guy wants the power, but not quite as performance-driven as this gentleman over here.
Okay. And then what kind of horsepower is this putting out with the Stage 1?
Stage 1 will be 725 horsepower. So not shabby.
No,
Not shabby.
not at all. Not shabby at all. And this one is four-wheel drive, so you'll get it to stick like you were saying.
Yep. It's a good reflection of our program because it shows no matter if you're a regular cab four-wheel drive guy or you want the loaded Mac Daddy truck, we build on your platform. Yeah. So like I said, heated seats, cooled seats, voice-activated navigation, the dual-panel sunroof, all of that information or all of the options are on this truck. So it's a true showing of what we can do. All right, so this is the Lariat Sport Special Edition. So you can see the seats are definitely loud, black and red two-tone with the red stitching. And one of the things that's a small detail, but it's really cool, is look at the seat belts on this truck. Black and red seat belts.
Oh, that's cool.
Just little details to try and make it
I've never
different.
seen that before.
Yeah, and so it's designed to give you a kind of a unique experience when you get in. Every aspect of the truck is unique. And we're taking it to the next level, obviously.
Very nice. Rear seats, are they also heated?
The rear seats in this one, I believe, are heated. Yes, they are. You can see it right there.
Yep. You got that red stitching on the dash as well.
Yep.
So,
yeah, see, this is more my style. I like power, but I like something that looks good.
You want the loud, too. See, that looks good to me. I like subtle.
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
Well, and that's the idea, is to be able to appeal from anyone from you to me and everybody in between. So
basically, people with good taste and people with taste like yours.
Yeah, or vice versa. Yeah, backwards.
So we talked about all the different stuff you guys can do here, and of course, regular Ford dealership, somebody can come buy a family car and all that good stuff. But if somebody wants speed, they find you.
We're kind of the name of the game. Like we work nationwide from California, Florida, Texas, and everywhere in between.
How does somebody find you?
The easiest way is our website, beachmontford.com. We've got a pretty big social media presence on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So you can find us on any of those platforms.
That's where I found you.
Yep.
Hey man, I appreciate the time.
Thank you. We appreciate having you.
What's the web address?
Beachmontford.com.
Awesome. Hey man, appreciate that you guys took the time to watch this. If you're a Ford guy, that's cool. If you're not, there's something wrong with you. This is Mickey with CarryTrainer.com. Be well.
That's good.